Hi, Ron and Kimberly here with
Savannah. Hi.
And we're continuing our journey of how to think like Leonardo Da Vinci, 7 steps to genius every day. And we're going to jump right in because we have a lot to cover in this little section that we read. And in this section we're developing our Curiosita, which is our quest for curiosity.
Answers,
yeah, the answers and
answers to life, answers to all kinds of things.
Right. And the thing is that in school, they say no question is a dumb question, right? And yet when it really comes down to it, they don't want us to dig deep and ask questions. Why?
How many of us have, kind of been maybe reprimanded for asking too many questions, possibly? Or, in school, if we ask questions, the deep questions, then we were always, we either had to spend more time with the teacher or given more homework or something like that. So, we've been taught, just basically that, not to ask questions, just
right.
to kind of accept what's there.
Accept things as they are. This is just the way it is. We're not expected to dig deep and really think through things, and that's really what Leonardo da Vinci taught, and what he wrote throughout his journals is he really thought about not just the hows of things, but why. Why do they work? Why is such an important question? And it's one that as a parent sometimes gets frustrating, right? But we need to really encourage our children to do that. And, he really, asked those awkward questions like, we all know the story of the emperor's new clothes and how, why was the emperor naked? It took a child to ask that question, So finding different things, and when it comes to problem solving, really think, they say that it takes a different mindset than what created the problem to get out of the problem, and that's really what this thought process is teaching us, is who cares about it? Who's it going to affect? What happens if I do ignore it? How? Where? And again,
why,
and why. So, Curiosita and your work, it's so important to use your curiosity. And in your work, one of the most important in your business, whatever it is, your job, if you have a job, is what if. If Silicon Valley didn't ask what if we make microchips smaller, we wouldn't have home computers today. We wouldn't have all of the small, what if we made our cell phones smaller? What if they went really small, and then they said, what if we make them...
Make it a screen bigger. What if Steve Jobs would have asked, well, what if we, make a computer into a phone, essentially? Give all the capabilities of a computer into a phone. We wouldn't have the iPhone or the iPad or any of the smartphone devices that we have now.
So learn to ask, what if? What if, if you offer products or services, what if I made this part free? What if I charged more for this? These are, what if? What if I did this? And really think about what if. What are the conclusions? What happens if what if? And then the next exercise that we did was realizing our ideal hobby. Now Savannah has a hobby that's pretty unique for someone her age. She is 12 years old, and she has a hobby of making Facebook fan pages, right?
Yeah.
And so we talked about in this section, what do we need to do to realize our ideal hobbies? What kind of questions do we need to ask when we have a unique hobby, or any hobby really? So what were some of the questions you asked when it came to making a Facebook fan page?
How to do it, how to make it successful, how to get lots of followers and likes, and questions like that.
And maybe some questions like how to start the page, right?
Yeah.
How to put graphics on the page, how to do Facebook ads to promote your page, and how did you, when it came to actually going through with that, what did you do to answer some of those questions?
I watched a training on how to do it, and yeah.
Just kind of followed the process,
followed
didn't you?
what it said.
So you sought out mentors, right? People to teach you that, and Mom and Dad provided that training for you. It's a training course that we provided for our entire family to gain access and use. And she really got excited about that. Now that's with any talent. Savannah also loves musical theater, so we had to find someone who could teach that, right? And where did we find that? What do you do every Monday?
Oh, well, I go to a place called Chili Peppers, and we learn. Right now we're working on a play for Christmas. It's going to be fun, so.
So you sought out mentors and people to teach you that, but you had to ask those questions, where can I find this? Another thing is studying it out, studying musical theater, studying Facebook marketing, like studying what other people are doing that's working, and that kind of thing along there. Now, another very important thing, and it has to do with the development of your brain, is learning a new language, right?
That's right, which can be kind of difficult. And we actually have access to a program called OneSpeak, which actually gives us the ability to learn up to 80 different languages. It's kind of like Rosetta Stone, but on steroids. And if you're interested in something like that, make sure you get in touch with us. But it's really, really cool because it uses technology to be able to change it. And I've actually spent a couple years in Spain about 25 years ago. So I learned Castilian Spanish. So they actually have Castilian Spanish that we are as a family are learning. And obviously we're asking all kinds of questions of why it says this, why it sounds like that, why it's different than Spanish that you would speak in Mexico and things, lots of different questions.
Right. So, and with that program, like Ron said, we're doing it as a family. So that's part of our homeschool curriculum. We use our OneSpeak language program. So it's definitely, if you're a homeschooler, or want to learn another language, like I said, there's over 80 different options. So get in touch with us. Moving right along, we also want to, in this section, an exercise that we did was building your own lexicon. So what is a lexicon? It's basically your own dictionary, your own journal. There's so many more words in the English language than we ever, the average of what we use, I think, is about 80 is our average words. But expand your knowledge. So what do we do every day, Savannah, as part of our homeschool curriculum?
In our journals, we have the word of the day, and we write down the meaning of it and an example of how that word is used.
And then we try to use that word throughout the day. We use it in different opportunities that we have to use the word. And it's kind of fun, using the new words and bringing them up in our speech processes.
We found actually there's several applications that you can get for Wix. You have Android application. I'm sure there's something for the iPhone as well. Just type in, search for word of the day.
In the Play Store
or in the App Store.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a great way to learn, and increase your vocabulary.
All right, and to finish off, Curiosita and our video for today, nurturing your emotional intelligence. And what that means is asking yourself kind of those deep questions, those tough questions. What are my weaknesses? And then again, what are my strengths? Now, Savannah and I did an awesome activity with our church tonight where we actually went and we were able to share with one another not only what we thought of each other, but we shared what we thought of ourselves too, as far as our positive things about ourselves, things that we like, talents, things that we can nurture, right? So, were you surprised by some of the things that I put about you?
Yeah, a little bit. I didn't know you thought that like me.
So it's a great exercise to do with your kids. Let them know what you really think about them. What are their talents that they have? It may surprise them, and it may surprise you. Some of the things that she put about me were special, and so it's a great activity to do, to find out really what you do think of each other, and the positive things, that influences that we have on each other and on ourselves. So with that, definitely stay tuned for tomorrow. We're actually going to jump into Demostria Zone. So the next fun section that we get to talk about. So if you don't know what that is, you better tune in tomorrow's video and we'll share with you all about that. And remember, when you wake up
unstoppable!